Hello, hello, and welcome to Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie. I'm Julie Davison.
And I'm Susan LaCroix. We're mother-daughters, mother and daughter. And we've been
we are both mothers and daughters.
Well, this is true. This is true. We've been demonstrators for 20 years, just about. Julie's anniversary is coming up real quick here. Pardon?
In just a few weeks.
In just a few weeks, exactly. So we don't get to stamp together very often because we live in different states. So we decided to do this over Zoom so that we could share with each other and then share with all of you as well.
And this week is our 1-year anniversary of Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie. Happy anniversary, Mom.
Happy anniversary, Julie.
I can't believe we've been doing this for a whole year.
Right?
Time flies when you're having fun.
It does. Julie came up with this brilliant idea. We were in Hawaii on one of our incentive trips, and over lunch, we kind of kicked it around and decided it would be a fun thing to try. And here we are 1 year later. Exactly. I think our first video was June 5th last year, I think.
It was the first weekend in June. I don't remember the exact date, but I do remember it was the first weekend in June. We did like a Mother Day stamping special, and it was just like a one-off little episode. And that was after you had joined me as a special guest for Thursday Night Stamp Therapy in March. And so it was just so much fun to stamp together. And it's even more fun when we can be in person, but because we live so far apart, that's not very often. So
we were hoping to do this for to film 2 last week. We were in Champaign for Tom's graduation, but we just literally ran out of time. Yep. We needed to get back to Michigan for my other grandson, Miles. His graduation was the same week. So it's been a whirlwind, to say the least.
And when this is going to air, Mom and I will both be in St. George, Utah for a demonstrator retreat. So we're filming this ahead of time. And we may be together when this airs. Oh, you'll probably be in the car on your way home. Well, on your way to the airport to fly home.
I think so.
Well, we have a very special episode for you today. To celebrate our 1-year anniversary of Sunday Stamping, we are doing mystery stamping this week. And if you're not familiar with how mystery stamping works, we have provided each other and you a list of supplies to prepare. Each of us has designed a card, and we will walk each other and all of you through that card by providing instructions for how to assemble each piece that you've prepared. In the end, the card that comes out will be a mystery, and we'll reveal our original card design. We hope that you'll stamp right along with us. And if you haven't prepared your supplies, you can pause this video on the replay and prepare your supplies so that you can follow along with us. We would love for you to share the cards that you create in our Facebook groups so that we can see what you've made too.
I'm really excited about this.
I am too. This is the first time that I have designed and written instructions for a mystery stamping project, and it was kind of a lot of fun. I can't wait to see how well I give instructions.
Also, please let us know how the instructions are, because we tailored our instructions to be this kind of the same format. So we hope it's easy enough for you to follow along. So we would appreciate some feedback too. So if we need to do something different or change something up for our next mystery stamping, which we don't know when that will be, that will give us some help. So we appreciate your feedback.
And we'd love to know whether or not you like mystery stamping. Is this something that you would like to see as a regular feature for Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie? Please leave a comment and let us know.
Yes.
Are you ready to get started, Mom?
I am. So you're going to make my card first, right?
Yes. So you're going to share your screen with the instructions, and I will stamp along. I chose some new paper, Awash with Beauty, to use. I just love this designer paper. And as Mom saw it on my desk, she said, wait a second, I'm using the same paper. So I could not wait to see this gorgeous paper is in the new Stampin' Up! Annual catalog. It's a 12 by 12 paper, but I just cut it down so I could show it to you. And then I'm actually only using the greetings from the Coordinating True Beauty stamp set. If you have not prepared your list of supplies yet, then pause the video right here so that you can get the supplies that Mom has listed ready to go. We're going to move on though and assume that you have already prepared your supplies. And so Mom, when you're ready, let's dig in with the first instruction.
All right, so let me just go through the supply list just in case there's any questions. So I'm using a standard card base, 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. And then I took a solid piece of cardstock as a matte piece. And then I have a small piece of designer series paper, 3 inches by 4 inches. And then if desired, you can prepare a strip of cardstock or a piece of ribbon, 4 inches by 3/4 inches. 3/4.
Oh, I don't think that was on my list.
It was not, and I apologize. I realized it when I was typing this up that I missed that piece. So, so if you need to do that, you certainly can. Then the greeting piece, I have 3/4 of an inch by 3 1/4 inches. And then some stamped and die cut images to go on the front of the card. So you may have to fussy cut them if you don't have dies that coordinate with it. That's totally your call on this one. And then of course a 4 inch by 5 1/4 inch neutral cardstock for the inside piece. And then embellishments and ribbons as desired. All right, are we ready? Let us go to step 1. So fold the card base in half. Now, just a note as we get started that you can adhere all of the elements parallel to the top of the card, or you can make it kind of cattywampus and slightly turn the elements so that they're offset from each other. So that is totally up to you and the mood that you're in. So that's just a little side note when you start adhering the pieces together. Okay, let's move on to step 2. Tear approximately 1/4 inch of the right side of the matte piece and adhere that to the card base.
I decided to use designer paper instead of cardstock for my mat.
That's okay.
Oh God, I hate to cover up that pretty side.
So this is where, you know, you can tilt it, you can put it straight on. That's totally up to you. It's your card.
The fun thing about mystery stamping is deciding if it's going to be horizontal or vertical. So I'm going to kind of see as we go.
There you go. All right. All right. So once you have that done and adhered to the card base, we're going to move on to step 3. I hope I'm not going too fast. You guys can always pause the video. Adhere your designer series paper on the matte piece. And if desired, you can add a 4 inch strip of ribbon or cardstock over the DSP. Now, Julie, it looks like okay.
So I cut a little mat for my designer paper because I felt like the green needed to look a little more finished. So I added a little piece. Okay. But I kind of want to grab that another piece for the strip, since I didn't see that.
Well, because I didn't add it, so my apologies. So
no, that's okay. Let's see. You know what? When I was preparing all the pieces, I kind of was like, I really want to add a strip, but I already felt bad for adding the white cardstock behind the designer paper.
Don't ever.
You have to be true to mom's design. Okay, so adhere the designer paper
on the matte piece.
Okay, so I have to put it on.
Put that one on first, and then your other little strip.
Okay. I kind of want to make it at an angle, but then with the torn edge, maybe I shouldn't have put it on the mat. I'm peeling it back from the mat. I think that the strip might help it feel complete. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go a little crooked. And then the designer paper anywhere on the cardstock?
I put mine towards the center, but you can kind of put it where you think it can go. It depends where you're going to put your greeting.
Okay, I'm going to put mine toward the bottom.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So once you've done that, we'll move down to step 4. You're going to stamp and or fussy cut and or die cut your image to go on the DSP layer. Boop. So you can either do one image large, a larger image towards the top and a smaller one on the bottom, one big image, totally up to you.
And by putting it on yet or just getting it ready?
Yep. Go right ahead, put it on.
Okay.
I'm liking that.
I know. I fussy cut this one from the designer paper. It is so gorgeous. All
right.
Lightly committing.
That's fine. All right. So now it's time for your sentiment. And so you can stamp that on the 3/4 inch by 3 3/4 inch. Tear on the right side if you so desire. And then you can adhere that so that it's touching other elements on the card. And I see you've got some twine or linen thread.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I like that though. This is the hard thing about mystery stamping for me. Is I just want to tear and adjust. Okay, I'm going to put it there.
Okay.
Oh. And I kind of like the twine, but I think I just had too much of it. Oh. Somehow I got a knot, 2 knots in the middle. What was I doing? Okay, I'm just going to cut a new piece. This is the first card that I've made with this new A Wash and Beauty Suite.
Yeah.
The designer paper is one of my favorites, but I just haven't had a chance to sit and play yet.
And this is also my first time using it. And I've been itching to use it. And I thought this would be perfect to do for a mystery card. So I get to play.
Okay.
All right. Once you have your greeting on where you want it, then you can embellish as desired.
I brought out some options, Mom, to embellish. The polished dots.
Pretty.
The brass butterflies.
Ooh.
Or the solid faceted gems, but I'm not feeling those.
Okay. Either one of those would be great.
I feel like my go-to has been these brass butterflies. These were in the mini catalog, but they've carried over. So if you didn't have a chance to get them yet, it's not too late.
Oh, sweet.
I know, right?
And what's great about these brass butterflies, if you don't have them, is that they're flat.
Yes.
You don't have to worry about mailing with them because they're flat.
All right, I did 5 because I wanted to do 3 here.
Okay.
Is that too many?
don't think so, because they're really little.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I
Oh,
love it,
so
love it, love
glad.
it.
So are you ready to see mine?
I am ready to see yours.
I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I'm done.
Okay. And I'm going to add your desktop.
All right. Are you ready? There it is.
Oh,
So this one is using the Abigail Rose Suite, the Cottage Rose stamp sets. And some of the DSP that looks like a spreadsheet, like an old timey spreadsheet.
I love how you stamped on the ribbon.
So easy to do. And so I tore my green and I tore the little edge on that. And then for the inside, I just stamped a little piece or a little flower in the corner.
Oh, I forgot to add my inside piece.
Oh, pretty. I like that with the DSP.
Yeah, I just did 1 1/4 by 4 for the bottom. Oh, I love it, Mom. What a fun card.
Thanks.
It's so hard.
It's kind of like my shabby chic thing. The only thing I might have changed maybe is to put some splatter on it.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't. But I did use the elegant faceted gems.
Oh, those are my favorite. I'm so glad they carried over.
I am too.
It looks good. I think this card would work horizontally as well. And I almost did, but then I realized that I had stamped my inside sentiment this way. So I didn't really have an option, but I think you could go either way with it.
Yeah.
Oh, what fun. Okay, I cannot wait to see what you're going to create with my with my instructions. So I'm going to share my screen. And so I'm going to go over the pieces and Mom will hold up the ones that she's prepared. I love the colors you've got here, Mom. So there's a card base that is 5.5 by 8.5.
Yeah.
And then the designer paper is 5.5 inch, or I'm sorry, 2.5 inches by 5. And I put designer paper or solid cardstock for both of these. The next piece is 1 inch by 5.5 inches of designer paper or solid cardstock. So you could use designer paper for both of these. You could use, one could be designer paper and one could be solid, or you could use 2 solid pieces of cardstock if you want. I would say if you're going to use 2 pieces of solid cardstock that you probably want to emboss one of them with an embossing folder. Okay, then you're going to use a shape or a label die cut that's about 3 inches. I didn't measure, but I think you're using the same size circle that I did from the new stylish shape dies. And then a piece for the greeting that's 3/4 inch by 3 1/4. No, that was supposed to be 3 3/4. But it doesn't matter as long as it fits your greeting. So if you need a longer piece to fit your greeting, then use a longer piece. If you need a shorter piece, then use a shorter piece. And then stamped images to either die cut or to stamp and go on the label. Oh, I love that flower that you've stamped, Mom. And then a neutral piece of cardstock to go on the inside. And it's optional, but I always like to do that if you have a darker piece of cardstock. I love that you've stamped the flowers in the corner. And then embellishments and ribbon as desired.
Pull these out and we'll see once I get moving. So I've got the iridescent pearls. These are brand new. They're part of the suite. And then I also grabbed some polished pink woven ribbon.
Oh, nice.
So not sure yet. So I'll just see how the assembly goes.
Okay, so step 1 is to fold the card base in half. Pretty standard first step. And these instructions again can be either vertical or horizontal. And I have a sample going each way. So
Yeah, good.
When you're doing this at home, you can decide and choose, and it probably will have to do with how you cut your designer paper. Okay, next up, you're going to adhere the large designer paper or cardstock so that there is a 1/4 inch spacing from one long side and both short ends. So essentially you're going to space it evenly, and you can choose if you want it on the right or the left, the top or the bottom. If you're doing a horizontal card, that's totally up to you. You just want to space it evenly from the sides and the top and bottom, or from a long side. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. All right. All right.
Okay, next up, you're going to take the smaller strip, the 1 by 5.5 inch strip of designer paper or cardstock, and you're going to adhere it over the piece that you just put down. So you can choose if you want it, like where you want it, but it should be overlapping the designer paper. So you can have it all the way to one side, or you can have it in the middle, or however you'd like.
Oh, Jules.
I know, right?
I didn't want to cover up this pretty flower, but it may get covered up anyway. Oh dear. All right. Let me just commit.
So it should be overlapping the first layer in some capacity.
Okay. There's so many great colors in this paper. I have cardstock all over the other side of my room trying to figure out, and I don't know, I kept coming back to Mary Merlot in some fashion. I tried to, oh, that's crooked. Tried a Mary Merlot card base with a polished pink strip. I tried a couple different pieces of the designer series paper. Okay, I guess that's where I want that.
All right. Next up, you're going to stamp and or die cut images to go on the 3-inch label or shape, and then adhere the label or shape to the card so that it's slightly overlapping one or both of the first 2 layers. And so you get to decide if it's going high, or if it's going low, or if it's going right, or if it's going left.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
I know, that's the fun of mystery stamping, is it's all in the way that you interpret the instructions. So
all right.
And it's interesting that we're doing this showing ourselves following the instructions, because usually when you do mystery stamping, there's no visual and you're just sort of following these instructions blindly. But you may or may not be following or mimicking what Mom and I are doing as an interpretation. So I can't wait to see how all the cards turn out.
I guess I'm going to cover up that flower. Okay.
All right. Next, you're going to stamp the sentiment on your 3/4. See, I have the right measurement here. 3/4 by 3 3/4 inch strip. And again, if it's shorter or longer, it doesn't matter. On my original card, I needed it longer for the sentiment. So you're going to adhere the sentiment so that it touches all of the elements on the card. And the cardstock strip should be parallel to the top of the card.
Okay. If I want some ribbon under that.
This would be a good time. The next step is going to be to embellish your card as desired. So if you want to add ribbon or embellishments, you can add them however you'd like.
I may or may not use this. I don't know.
I know. I love where you're going. I'm going to scroll back to my previous instruction in case someone still needs it. But if you've done that part already, now is just the embellishment time. And I purposely in my colors did not say white for the greeting. I just said greeting because on some of my cards, I used a different color besides white for the greeting. So it's always fun to mix it up. If you usually use white for your greetings, I challenge you to mix it up and try your greetings on other colors, neutral colors like crumb cake or so saffron that are a little lighter, you know, but still easy to read on are good alternatives for your greeting layer.
Yep, on the card you did, on my sample, I used the pink.
Yes, exactly. That's another one I haven't really played with yet, that new Cottage Rose Suite.
I am loving it. I think what I want to do. Let's put this guy on.
I love that little bow. That is just the sweetest.
I think I'm going to put it on my flower. And then he's got to be touching all the elements, huh?
That was the instruction.
I think. No, I think what I might do is take this one off and put a little snail, or not snail, because there's a lot of layers. I want just a one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now it definitely needs some bling. So I haven't even used these yet. These are the new iridescent pearls.
I haven't used them either. I pulled them out for a potential embellishment on one of my cards and then I didn't end up using it.
And I think what I'm going to do is take some of these and put them in the center of the flower.
Oh, I love doing that, like a little grouping.
Yeah. I wonder if this should have been down more. Yeah, I'll just tear it. I'll leave it. Put my inside piece on. Julie, I like this layout.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Oh, it turned out good.
Yeah.
I like the pearls in the center.
Oh, thanks. All right, I'm anxious to see oh, look at that.
I know. Okay, so this is my inspiration card, and you might remember it from when we did the Butterfly Kisses video. I just showed it as an example. It wasn't something that I demonstrated, but I really loved the layout. And so I played around a little bit, and the first one that I made was this one using the texture chic. I wanted to do something that was vertical instead of horizontal. And I had a bit of a hard time because this designer paper is so busy that I feel like there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
I have the die cut in gold flower images as well as the stamped images. And then I just added some polished dots right now as you were embellishing your card. And then I had a little time, so I made one more card using the Happy Forest Friends. Here's one where I used solid cardstock and then a little bit of patterns. And again, I used a shorter piece, but I did so saffron for the sentiment just to mix it up and do something a little bit different with a die cut butterfly to go with the little butterfly that's over there.
Aw, I love that.
I'm so glad. So you can see on some of them, I had the designer paper high, I had it low. I toyed around with having this whole black bee up high. And then here's one that's vertical. And so the sentiment, like these sentiments are all parallel. And then this one is perpendicular like yours. I think that's the only way to do it with a vertical card.
Yeah, yeah. Very cute. Very, very cute.
I love this land. I can't wait to see what everybody makes with it. Okay,
Right?
Mom, let's turn the camera around and show off our cards. We'll start with your mystery stamping project first.
Okay.
Oh, what a great layout. I loved following along because I usually do kind of like tear up as I go, but it was so good. Even though I did tear up a little bit, it was kind of fun to just like follow, those instructions and not overthink it. That's something that I always do is I overthink my projects. I added some more tearing, that's something that I also don't do a lot of. I tore the side like you told me to, and I tore the greeting like you told me to. And then I went back and I tore that So Saffron layer again, just to add that tearing. And I really like it. So I feel like I pushed myself a little out of my comfort zone, and I think the result is just gorgeous.
I do like it.
And your card is great too. And then that is what you made for your swaps for this demonstrator retreat that we're going on. So I'm really excited to get one of those.
You will get one of these. And I just finished them all. So they are all ready to go.
Yay. I haven't even started mine. Okay, let's show off my mystery stamping project. I'm going to hold up the butterfly kisses. That was the first one that I designed, and I love that yours is vertical and this one is horizontal, because the mystery stamping can go any direction and be interpreted in multiple ways.
Yeah, see, I would probably now move this over a little bit more and then move this down, but I like the way this one came out too, so it's good.
My original design was this one, and the smaller designer paper is actually 1 1/4 inch, but I felt like it covered up too much of the bottom cardstock. And so in the other designs that I did change it to the measurement that I gave you, which was 1 inch, because I just felt like it was a little more non-invasive to the other layer on the card.
And I don't use Mary Merlot all that much. And so I really wanted to show it some love.
I'm going to hold up mine with the beauty, because this is Mary Merlot as the card base. And it really is such a gorgeous color that I forget about because it's in the neutrals. And if you look at it like just on the screen, you might think it's rich raspberry. Let me grab some rich raspberry really quick to hold them up and show you. They are very different colors, but if you're not looking at them together, it can be so here is, I'm holding the big piece of rich raspberry and then the Mary Merlot. So it's definitely like a darker, more wine kind of.
It has more, there's more blue in the raspberry. So yeah, very nice.
Oh my goodness, this was fun. I really enjoyed doing this mystery stamping, and I think we should, if everyone agrees and has fun too, I think we should do this on the regular, like maybe once a quarter or so, do a mystery stamping episode. What do you think, Mom?
I like that idea a lot. This was fun. Well,
leave a comment and let us know what you think. Did you enjoy mystery stamping? Would you like to see more videos like this? And again, we would love to see the projects that you created with our mystery stamping instructions. So please share them with us privately by sending us an email or sharing in our Facebook groups so that we can see what you've created.
Yeah, this was fun. And I hope you did stamp along with us. And I look forward to doing this again. And so with that, until next Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie, have a wonderful week. We'll see you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for watching. Bye, Jay. Love you.
Love you too.